a fake space mission that lasted decades and went uncovered, that to pull off properly would take more sophistication than the actual Apollo mission to the moon. We watched SyFy Channel's Ascension from 2014. Stay tuned to hear what we thought. Thanks for coming back to Cheers and Jeers, where we're looking at some of the short-lived TV shows from past years and doing some reviews on them. We're looking right now at Ascension. It was a 2014 series that came out, produced by the SyFy Channel. It lasted for a grand total of 6 episodes. That's got to be pretty quick record for cancellation. A lot of issues with this show. It starring, amongst other people, Tricia Helfer, who was famous for her role as the blonde Cylon character on Battlestar Galactica's the rebooted version. So the basic premise: in 1963, NASA launched a fake space mission, an incredibly elaborate proposition that was going to be a multi-generational ship going to another star, carrying dozens and dozens of colonists. And the big reveal is that they never launched. They're in a warehouse somewhere in a laboratory, and you've got, for 50 years now, you've got this fake spaceship that is meant and designed to seem real to the people inside of it, and they've been living in there for 50 years and have no idea that they're still on Earth. And there's a murder on board, which starts an investigation, and that starts the beginning of the plot moving forward. And it just a lot of holes in the show. On the surface, it's a very intriguing premise. But just the physics and actual logistics of making these people actually really believe they're on a spaceship when they're not, there's some suspension of disbelief that's necessary, to put it mildly. You can't simulate what the gravity would actually be like on a ship, even if the ship were rotating, which is the only way in space you can simulate gravity, is a rotating spaceship. You can't simulate that on Earth because everything pulls down, even if you try spinning something. That's the least of the problems. It was an interesting idea. Effectively, it was a mini-series. It would have been nice if they'd written it in such a way that it had a complete storyline that wrapped up at the end, rather than just trailing off. That's a problem with a lot of these short series that we're reviewing, is they weren't really intended to be short to begin with. They got a few episodes into what might have turned into a compelling story, and then people are left with a cliffhanger that never gets resolved, and that was the case with this show. So if you got nothing else to do, you might bother streaming it. It's kind of amusing for the first episode or two. Interesting premise, but don't get too invested in it, because the story really doesn't end up going anywhere. Doesn't tie up any loose ends. It doesn't even have time to. So we give it mixed reviews. The Rotten Tomatoes scores actually on it are fairly high. It's got 66% from the critics and a full 72% from audience. So I mean, they did good with what they had, but for whatever reason, the higher ups at SyFy didn't want to continue it. So what do you think? Do you give this a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Let us know in the comments. And we really appreciate you sticking with us as we grow this channel. Please do the usual: share, subscribe, like, and whatnot. Help us grow. And if you have any suggestions for things you'd like to hear us review in the future, leave those in the comments as well.